do you have second, I like to tell you a short story, how these Earthling dropped out of deep space, out warp drive, in which they all came from Earth. These people move really fast to May outer planets. They never dream of having a life off planet until it really took place. But they made a move to outer worlds without thinking really hard about it, making a debut. I mean, this happened in seconds, like light speed far away from Earth, faster than light speed, only to find alien spices that really want to meet these new species who live on the dead world. However, to them, it really looked like Earthling just might think they could death world threat to their lifestyle. A planet in which could hold a lot of wealth inside of its core as planet. A place that a whole lot of its animals can kill you as fast as humanly possible without thought. A place that shows no remorse to its humans. A place in which humans is know of running for days after animals for food in order to live. For humans is the hardest thing is leaving Earth and arriving someplace else. I going tell you a story how Earthling who came from Earth, not much of a old planet, a place that kill you without a thought. Much of passengers was only looking for better life, so had no choice but move off planet. Yes, they needed to move to outer planets, a place much safer than their own. Hopefully, much safer than Earth. But they have never moved to outer worlds without thinking how harder it would be, or possibly could it be more farther than any planet next to Earth in outer space. Never to think how far away Earth would be from every place in the solar system. A place much farther than any place else. Plus, you need to travel much faster at light speed in order to get there. Yes, you have traveled faster than light speed. Only to find that we are not alone in the universe, but there's aliens here too. Yes, alien species that play the same game as us, but play on different rule book. And they doesn't really want to meet humans yet. These new species like Earthlings who live on the death world. However, they might think this death world like place called Earth, which could be a real threat to their lifestyle life, by possibly contacting some type of virus, a planet in which holds a lot of different types animals and bugs too that can kill humans without thought. A place that showed through time can be the most uninhabitable zone, a place not fit to live at as alien or as a human, a place in which humans have to run down their catch to live. Yes, they eat most every animals on Earth in order to live each and every day. For as long as humans had stared into the night sky, they believed leaving Earth was the hardest thing to happen for any faithful world like Earthling, who never threw moving off planet and building new, wonderful life someplace else. A truly wonder world with very little tension, without being overcomplicating in order to live there. The thing to worry about: can your faster light ship hold together for a long trip? According to science, saying that faster light will break apart from too much speed. Plus, how much will it cost for distance traveling that speed? So what happens when they cross distance space between the stars, far, far beyond Earth, was not a triumph of engines alone. It was a surrender of certainty. Faster than light travel did not feel like speed. It felt like being unstitched from reality, stretched thin through darkness, where time behaved like a rumor. Many never made it. Some ships returned hollow, without a soul on board. And many ships never be seen again. No one never even get chance to tell their love how to love them again. And yet, humanity, with on like the great sailors of the past, did went on. Many earthlings left their home world without truly thinking about how strange they were, how violent their planet had shaped them to be. They carried records of art, music, and philosophy, but rarely spoke of the truth that Earth was a place where survival had once required pursuit, endurance, and blood. When they arrived in the outer worlds, they found they were not alone. The aliens had been watching. They called themselves the Earthlings, a species older than most of their sons. They lived on gentle worlds, planets, where evolution favored harmony over competition, where few creatures hunted and almost none killed for survival. To the Earthlings, life was something that unfolded slowly, cooperatively, like a song shared among many voices. They were curious about the newcomers from the dirt world, as their translators rendered it. Earth. The Earthlings welcomed the humans with light and open counsels. They wanted to know them. They wanted to understand how a species so young could cross distances even their own people had chosen not to challenge. But curiosity turned to unease. The Earthlings learned that on Earth, most animals could kill a human without thought, that the land itself, its oceans, its storms, its diseases, was indifferent to human life. They learned that humans once survived not by waiting for food to appear, but by running animals to exhaustion, chasing prey until it collapsed, then killing it with bare hands and sharpened stone. They learned that humans were persistence hunters, a species that did not give up, a species forged on a planet where everything tried to kill you and often succeeded. The Earthlings began to whisper among themselves. If a species could survive that world, if a species could endure hunger, predators, cold, heat, and still look outward with longing. What might they become elsewhere? To humans, Earth had always felt fragile. To the Earthlings, it sounded like a crucible. Some Earthlings wanted to embrace the Earthlings, believing that any species capable of leaving such a world behind must be seeking peace. Others feared them, not because humans arrived with weapons, but because they arrived with adaptability. Humans had learned to fight gravity, disease, distance, and time itself. What would they do on gentler worlds? The first true meeting between the species ended not with war, but with silence. Both sides realized the same truth at the same moment. Earthlings were not monsters, but they were shaped by a planet that made monsters possible, and the universe would never look at Earth the same way again, not as a weak blue dot, but as a world that forged survivors who learned how to cross the impossible. Not because it was easy, but because Earth had taught them that nothing worth living for is also worth dying for as well. The faithful to your idea, with clear world building, wonder, and tension, without overcomplicating the science, but honoring the cost of distance and speed.